Hi there. Are you sitting comfortably? Then I shall begin. Those were the immortal words of Watch with Mother, a radio programme originally, although perhaps it was a television programme after a while. I can't remember. It's before my time, of course. But what I do remember is a children's TV programme called Jack and Ori. And every day at the end of the afternoon, somebody would sit in a chair like this, pick up a book and read a story to the children. I loved it. Probably still would if it was still on. I'm sure you enjoy stories too. And one of the things that the Bible is brilliant at is telling stories. Of course, these stories are true stories, true accounts about lots of different people experiencing lots of different things. And it's great to be able to read these stories and to be able to apply those stories sometimes to our own circumstances, and we can relate to some of the people, and some of the people we can't relate to directly, kings and queens and such like. But the experiences which they have in life can be so true to our own lives, and we can learn the lessons from reading their stories. One of my favourite characters in the Bible and the favourite stories to read about him is Elijah. And you can read about him in 1 Kings from chapter 17 for the next few chapters. It's very interesting that in the New Testament it says that Elijah was a man just like us. So these stories can really, I suppose, be applied to our lives. This month and this week we're thinking about the discipleship pathway, which is really a name which we have come up with in the church for the journey which we are on as Christians. From the moment we become a Christian, from the moment we give our hearts to the Lord, until the moment that we die, we are on this journey, on this pathway to try and be a disciple, a follower of Jesus. And Elijah, he was on a journey, he was on a pathway to follow God and try to do what God wanted him to do. This week we're thinking about the responsibilities of the discipleship pathway. And as we walk and as we journey with God, there are many different responsibilities which he gives to us. One of the first responsibilities which Elijah had was to speak God's word. And we can read about his story in the Bible. And it says in chapter 17 of 1 Kings, Elijah the Tishbite from Tishbe in Gilead said to Ahab, who was the king of Israel, and not a good king, a wicked king, an evil king, "As the Lord, the God of Israel lives, whom I serve, there will be neither dew nor rain in the next few years except at my word." And then the word of the Lord came to Elijah, "Leave here, turn eastward and hide in the Kerith ravine east of the Jordan. You will drink from the brook, and I have ordered the ravens to feed you there." So Elijah delivered this message, this word of the Lord to Ahab, to the wicked king Ahab, that because of his wickedness, there was going to be no rain in the land for 3 years. And after he delivered that message, he had to go and hide, because as we read on in the story, Ahab was after his blood when he heard that, because of course God's word came true and it didn't rain in the land for 3 years. And later on, after a long time, it says in chapter 18, in the 3rd year, the word of the Lord came to Elijah, "Go and present yourself to Ahab, and I will send rain on the land." And so Elijah went to present himself to Ahab. And when he saw Elijah, he said to him, "Is that you troubler of Israel?" "I have not made trouble for Israel," Elijah replied, "but you and your father's family have." When we are on the disciple pathway, the journey to follow God, then we have to honour God with our words. That's one of our responsibilities, to honour God with our words, sometimes to deliver messages, to share with other people about God and about his word. And we have this responsibility to speak God's word, to believe God's word, to take God at his word and live it out in our lives. God bless you as you seek to do that on your discipleship journey. Speak to you again tomorrow.